of this video, I have an assortment of video game controllers here. And I'm going to be doing some button pressing and that sort of thing. There's going to be clicking, you know. I'm also going to be rambling a little bit and telling you about my experiences with these systems and how they have been formulative in my life, because I love video games and I have since I was a child. Today, the atmosphere is a bit more orangish red, which I was not anticipating, but my vanilla cinnamon brulee candle that I'm using to light this is giving off this color, which is not intentional, but it was a happy surprise, as it is February 14th, or Valentine's Day, here in America. So it's got the vibe. Alright, so let's go ahead and start off with the basic one, which is going to be my Xbox controller. I believe this is an Xbox One controller. I talked about it in my last video. Well, my first video, not my last video. I talked about how I don't really have an Xbox, but I use it for my PC. And I really do enjoy the sounds it makes. I mean, it's also just a very good controller. Sorry if you can hear the sirens in the background. That was an update my computer just had. I'm really glad that was in the video. Let me know if you like the slow button clicking or the fast button clicking more. I think I like them both evenly. But a long time ago, controller tapping used to be my favorite trigger. It used to be so relaxing for me. But over time it seemed people have stopped doing it as often. So I'm bringing it back. really good ones. I know people really like Halo, or at least the original ones. And eventually I do want to go and play them. But I did not grow up with Xbox. I grew up with Nintendo systems and PlayStation. Oh goodness, loud car. So we're gonna go ahead and move on then to the next one. And let's go ahead and do the Game Boy Advance. It has a little Blaziken sticker on it. For those of you who know Pokemon, you know what this Pokemon is. It's a fan favorite. It was not my favorite of the Gen 3 starters, but it was the sticker I had, and I certainly did like the Pokemon. My favorite Pokemon of the Gen 3 starters was Swampert. Oh goodness. That was my cat. I think she sees a bug. She does not like bugs at all. The game that is currently in the Game Boy Advance is Pokemon Emerald version, which, for anyone who doesn't know, is the best of the Gen 3 games in my opinion. I feel like that's a widely accepted, agreed upon thing. Although that could go for most of the third installments in a Pokemon generation, like Black and White 2, I felt were just better than Pokemon Black and White. Pokemon Yellow, well, I thought it was better than the first two because it was harder, and you start with Pikachu, and that felt thematic, and you can get all of the starters. But Crystal is, in my opinion, leagues better than Gold and Silver. Alright. That was a pretty good sound too. Some of the other games that I have for the Game Boy Advance, which this one is an SP, which I believe is just short for special, is, I believe, Kirby and the Amazing, or Magic Mirror, whatever one it is. I can't remember, which I really liked that game. You can turn into Cupid Kirby, which also feels thematic for Valentine's Day. I'm bringing it up. You shoot arrows and things. It was very fun. It was like a labyrinth of Kirby stages that you had to go through, and I enjoyed it greatly. I also had the port of Yoshi's Island, which I really enjoyed, as well as the port to Super Mario World. Yeah, I have Super Mario Land for the Game Boy, and I get those two confused. I had the Sonic Advance games, all three, and I believe I had Sonic Battle. There were a lot more, but it is hard to remember them all this late in my life. I'm only 26, but so far after, I have played them in my childhood. this sticker from a book of Pokemon stickers I had when I was a kid. I put those things on everything. It was great. Alright. I think the next one I'm going to do is going to be the Nintendo Switch Pro controller. This is what it looks like, although it's hard to see in the lighting, unfortunately. If I aim it towards the candle, it kind of works. But this is a pretty good controller. It's effectively just a smaller Xbox controller when it comes to layout. Yeah. I like this one because the XABY keys, I'm a PC gamer now, if you can't tell, buttons are very clicky, but the triggers and the bumpers are very buttery. Also, I apologize if you can hear my stomach in this video. I ate dinner not too long ago, and I do not think it was good. It might be an allergy. They might not have told me everything they put in that food. Those of you out there with allergies will get it. I don't have many, and I have nothing serious, but there are a few things that make me feel a bit uneasy. I mean, thank goodness. I could have a lot worse of allergies, so I'm pretty thankful that I don't. Bumpers and the triggers for the Pro controller might be the best sound for me in this video yet. This one gets the seal of approval. I'm not gonna put it away yet. When it comes to the Nintendo Switch, I actually have not played that many games on it. I know a lot of people like the console. I know they have a Switch 2 out now. And I've just unfortunately not played many of the games on it. I got my first Switch to play Pokemon Sword and Shield. Then I played Scarlet and Violet, Kirby Forgotten Lands, and I think that's pretty much it. I played a lot of the Nintendo Switch Online games because I like the classics, and I no longer have a lot of my older systems. I do still have my Nintendo 64, but it does not work anymore. It does not work well anymore, which is unfortunate. I kept it in fairly good condition, but unfortunately sometimes age just catches up to machinery. So, I can't say much about the Switch, but I do like the controller, not the Joy-Cons. I actually dislike the Joy-Cons. But this one, I mean, how do you hate this noise? Oh, I forgot the most important one. Smash Brothers. I played a lot of Smash Brothers Ultimate. Alright, let's move on. This is my Nintendo 3DS XL. You can see the candle and my keyboard when it's reflective surface, and the recording software. That's right, I outed myself. I use Streamlabs. Like a loser. No, Streamlabs is great. I'm sure a lot of people use it, and it's great. I've always liked how the 3DS looks. It just has a good vibe. I don't know what it is, but the screens are big. It's a good system. CR and the CL buttons have a bit of a warble to them, and I like that. You're not gonna believe this, but I played a lot of Pokemon on my Nintendo 3DS. I originally had the DS as well, and then I got a 3DS, and then the new 3DS XL eventually. Diamond and Pearl, some of my favorite Pokemon games, but like I stated before, Pokemon Platinum is better. And I played all of the remakes like Heart Gold, Soul Silver, Omega, Ruby, Alpha Sapphire, X and Y, Moon, Sun, Ultra Moon, Ultra Sun, all that stuff I played, and I enjoyed them, mostly all of them. Sun and Moon were a bit rough, in my opinion, but Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon were at least fun. I liked the Pokemon in that generation, but the actual exploration was stunted by the cutscenes, and it felt like a slog to get through the game at some points. I had a lot of Sonic games for the DS too, like the Sonic Rush games, the 3DS ones, like Sonic Generations and Lost World I also had. But we all know that Sonic games aren't good. But I say this with love, because Sonic the Hedgehog is a great franchise that just makes really bad games. Alright. Oh, my hair got caught. I'm saving my coolest one for last. So, now the console I use most besides my PC. It's the PS5. I've never noticed this before. But the buttons are very mellow. They're not as clicky as the others. I actually wasn't expecting that. Oh, those are loud. That's actually kind of nice. I have to hold it away from the mic so it's not too loud, it seems. I originally got my PS5 to play Please Don't Laugh Marvel's Avengers. That was a mistake. That game was not very good, but the main character was Miss Marvel, who is one of my favorite Marvel superheroes. The first comic books I read, well, that I really read and collected, were her original 2014 runs. I had read comic books before that, like Batman and Superman, Wonder Woman, I actually really liked growing up. But I didn't collect them. I watched the movies, and that was about it. It wasn't until my uncle got me the 2014 Miss Marvel run at a garage sale that I really read the comics and got into it. And that is what really spawned my love of Marvel now. So without that, without Miss Marvel, I wouldn't be as much of a nerd as I am now. So her character has a special place in my heart. So of course, I had to play the game. And for what it's worth, they did Miss Marvel right. But unfortunately, the game was a mess. Although, I wouldn't call it a waste of money to buy the PS5, because I also was able to upgrade The Witcher 3, which is a great game, one of my favorite games. I was able to play Spider-Man 2, as well as a remake of Spider-Man for the PS4, and Spider-Man Miles Morales. Cosmic Invasion, which is a very fun side-scrolling beat-em-up game. She-Hulk is my favorite character, and if you've played it, you know why. The invincibility frames are actually crazy. But we're gonna put that down for now, and we're gonna move on to the last controller, which I hinted towards at the end of my first video. My Game Boy. This actually used to be my sister's Game Boy. I never had a Game Boy growing up, but she did. And when she was done with it, she left it to me. And it is the see-through Game Boy. You can see all of like the chips and the cards in there. You can see the batteries that I used to power it. I've never changed those batteries. Those are some old batteries. And I don't know how it's still going, but it is. This thing's gonna outlive me, I think. But this almost never comes out of its case anymore. I've beaten all the games I have for it, and I love it oh so much. They also have like the Nintendo helpline on the back with Mario who has a screwdriver. And I'm not sure if this is a phone number you can still call for support. I mean, obviously Nintendo still has support numbers, but I don't know if this is one of them that's still up. It says, installation, maintenance, and service. Nintendo authorized repair centers. I'm going to assume that's not a thing anymore. But it is a really cool remnant of the past to look at that. Back when, everything was not digital. I do actually prefer digital gaming now. I think it makes it a bit easier. Like when it comes to books, physical is always going to be better for me. But video games, it's there, something I just want to throw on and play to relax. So, I prefer digital, it's a bit easier. And it means I have more shelf space to delegate to books. So, yeah, I know, I'm guilty of that. And there is something lost when you buy something digitally than if you were to do it physically, and I know that. But, it's just for me. If things were to go back to physical and digital was to be done away with, I would have no problem with it. I would get another bookshelf for all my discs. And I'm always looking for an excuse to get another bookshelf. Put in the comments if I should get another bookshelf. Alright, I'm gonna put this away now because I'm terrified of hurting it. But that was the last controller of the video. I hope you enjoyed looking through my collection of controllers. If you'd like to see more, I can bring some back for a future video, maybe a part 2. Maybe I'll go into more depth about the games I play, things like that. Let me know what your favorite triggers were in the comments, so I know what to bring back in the future. Thank you so much for watching, and was awkward. I hope you sleep well, or are very relaxed and ready to tackle the rest of the day. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.